The Final One Standing by William Hill on Off the Ball. Download the app and play today. 18 plus gamblingcare.ie.
And we are back. International football doesn't exist in our world anymore. We're all about the Premier League, and we only ever were about the Premier League. The World Cup, what the hell is that? Who even cares? Not us, because we're not going. The Final One Standing Off the Ball is brought to you by William Hill. Download the app and play today. 18 plus, see gamblingcare.ie. Eve, you're still alive, are you?
I'm still alive, yeah.
Yeah. Cian, you're dead.
I mean, after this week, outside of football standings and physical sickness and all that kind of stuff, barely. And in Final One Standing, not at all.
Okay. Shane?
Oh, Bruno Fernandes's 96th minute penalty to beat Burnley kept me intact, so onwards and upwards for myself.
I am also gone. I think I made the mistake of picking Chelsea to win last weekend. What the hell was I doing? But Eve, you've picked all the random crap teams.
Including my first week was Leeds, and I said I'd get it out of the way quickly, just in case, which as they did, they fall off. And then I've been very, very safe and picked like Chelsea one of the weeks and Liverpool this week.
Oh, I thought you'd picked a Burnley win as well, somewhere in the middle of all that. No.
I'm not that suicidal.
I think the logic on the Leeds call was what really stood out, wasn't it?
I saw them play. I liked their midfielder. Stash.
Yeah, there you go. AC Milan, that Aviva game.
Yeah.
That was enough for you to win pre-season?
I will say I was told very last minute that I was doing this.
Excuses.
So now my tactic excuses. I'm still in it.
Yeah, true.
So
we're looking for someone to learn from here, not inspiring confidence. Like, we're already out. We're trying to follow your coattails over here.
Well, now I'm playing tactically. AKA, I'm not picking like Wolves. No offense to Wolves.
No, that's fine. I think that is at this point pretty good course of action. I don't know. Is anybody picking Man United, Man City this week?
Steer clear. That has a draw written all over it, doesn't it? We'll get into it, obviously, but I mean, you wouldn't be filled with confidence by either side so far this season. You know, it's the type of game Manchester United could just win. The last couple of years, they've got results against the likes of City and Liverpool and lost to pretty much everyone else. So, it's one of those games I wouldn't be calling to.
Such a weird situation having two brand new starting goalkeepers in. Assuming we do have two brand new starting goalkeepers in, and like you have confidence in Donnarumma, but because of this whole conversation about how he's going to play with Pep Guardiola, you don't really know. But then the other fella is a complete unknown, the Belgian lad, Lenners.
Sandy Lamans, yeah.
Is he going to start? I assume he's going to start.
They've got nobody else. Well, maybe they'd put Bayender in.
And then City launch every corner right on top of him. Yeah.
Will they, though? Because that's a bit obvious, isn't it? Pep would be like, no, we can't do that because they're expecting that. We'll do something different.
Yeah.
Right, Sam Norris is with us from William Hill. Sam, good morning to you. How are you?
Hi guys, yeah, very good, thank you. Lee Phelps must have thought the international break went on for another week. He never lets me do Premier League weekends, so yeah, great to be here ahead of a good weekend.
In fairness, you do have an incredible track record of picking winners in FA Cup weekends and giving us, so you've got a lot to live up to here.
Yeah, very much so, very much so.
I should say there's only 45 people left in the Off the Ball League. I don't know how many of them are actually off the ballers, so we're getting down to squeaky bum time. In the overall league, Sam, what is the crack with that?
Yeah, we'll start with the 500k league first. Obviously, we've got a reloaded jackpot league coming up this weekend, fresh out the international break. Wanted to return to domestic football with a big bang. So we've got a 200k league starting up this weekend, which, by the way, everyone can play. Even if you're still in the 500k league, you can still jump in the 200k as well. Unlikely, but someone could win 700 bags here, which would be pretty amazing. In the big jackpot league, the 500k, 3 teams equate for pretty much 3/4 of the remaining selections. We're down to less than 10,000 players in that league, started with 300,000. But Newcastle, Liverpool and Crystal Palace equating for about 3/4 of the picks so far. Newcastle are the most popular side in that regard, 42% in the 500k league. Across all leagues, they're up at 30%. I'm a Wolves fan myself, and I can say that I understand why Newcastle are being so popular. Obviously, no points on the board as of yet for Wolves, the only side in the Premier League yet to register a point. And Newcastle have just simply looked as though they've been missing Isak or just missing someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Probably should have beat Villa, played really well against Liverpool. I know that Eddie Howe, his MO would not necessarily be to throw the new signings in straight away. That's not something he usually does. I don't see how he can't not start Wissa this weekend. I think he might give Altamada a little bit longer, but Wissa, who's already proven in the Premier League, I think will come straight in, even though that's not usually the Eddie Howe method. And given they've just looked short of a goal scorer, Newcastle, it's very understandable that they're a popular pick. And Liverpool, of course, are available to a lot of players, which you might not have thought would be the case kind of 4 weeks in, but they were the Friday night game in week one, so they weren't available. We started the game on the Saturday, and then they've had Newcastle and Arsenal subsequently. So the fact that Liverpool are there for a lot of players is welcome news, I guess, when you're looking to get through week 4. And Palace are the other side, who've got a plus kind of double-digit share. They've got Sunderland. That one surprised me a little bit more. I think Sunderland have shown a little bit of zest so far, a couple of wins. Palace obviously thumped Villa before the international break, but that one surprised me a bit more. But Newcastle, Liverpool, you can say that.
Yeah, I think Newcastle makes a lot of sense. Anthony Gordon is suspended, though, right? So
can I jump in there? Apparently, breaking news that Wissa is injured.
Is that right?
Literally 14 minutes ago, I have it on the Independent here. Major Blows manager revealed Summerson and Wissa is set for a spell on the sidelines, so it's not even just a doubt for this weekend. It looks like it's going to be quite a while.
Right. Well.
That could change things. That, and obviously you can edit your pick as well. So I wonder if we see anyone pivoting.
Well, I'm literally about to do it right now as we speak. I'm like,
we might have a chance.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. What is going on at Wolves? Why are they so bad? We haven't had a Wolves fan on. I think, well, obviously we've had you on, but you were keeping it a bit quiet that you're a Wolves fan until now.
Yeah, it's nothing to shout about at the minute either, is it really? Look, losing your best two players from last season, Matthias Cunha and Ryan Aitnori, is always going to be a big blow. Remains to be seen what they've been replaced with. David Moller-Wolf got an assist in the 11-1 victory for Norway over Moldova in midweek, so we're clutching at straws a little bit there, but at least that's a bit of a positive. John Arias has come in for Cunha as well. I think this is kind of maybe what happens when you look for the bargains abroad. There are gems to be found out there, of course. We've seen a lot of clubs with really good scouting pick players from the lesser known leagues, etc. But you just haven't signed a Premier League proven player for a long time. And I just don't think, at this point anyway, the replacements are going to be quite up to scratch. And a couple of players who played well last year have regressed. I mean, Emmanuel Agbadou looks a shadow of his former self this time around. So what's the thing? We have got goals in us. I just can't see us keeping a clean sheet anytime soon, which is a big worry.
Yeah, no, for sure. Get Matt Doherty back in the team. That's your recipe for
disaster.
Well, he seems that they have a real polarised opinion of him in Ireland. I see some people on social media furious when he plays for the national team. Are you guys pro or against?
I think he's an easy, because his style of play is so laconic, everybody thinks he's not trying, but actually he is trying. He got picked out of position for us in the first game. We played badly. We conceded. He didn't play in the game against Armenia, and we weren't any better. It wasn't, he was really easy as a lightning rod for the first game. Oh, look, we're going to be much better without him. Historically bad defeat against Armenia and no sign of Matt Doherty.
And if you're talking about him in a Wolves context, last year, like as that right-sided centre-back rather than a right wing-back, he was really good for Wolves. I watched him live at Liverpool and he was one of their best players and actually kind of gave Liverpool a game that day, even though they were largely overwhelmed. Cunha scored an incredible goal just to keep them in touch. But Doherty was like composed figure at the back. I guess that's kind of what we hope for more from him from Ireland that we haven't gotten enough of over the years, maybe.
Yeah. I suppose, ironically, I'm a Spurs fan and he was there for a certain period of time, and I always used to think that he performed slightly better for Ireland than at Spurs, but that
might be the only time in his career.
Perhaps the only time in his career when I thought that.
In fairness, he didn't get a fair crack at a whip at Spurs, really.
Not really. It was during that very odd post-Pochettino time.
He got a nice trip to Spain out of it, though.
Atletico Madrid, or
yeah. Never played there either. So anyway, look, we went down a Matt Doherty wormhole there, which was not our intention. So essentially, everybody's making one of three picks this weekend, and perhaps people are going to edit the Newcastle pick with the news that they're going to have me playing up front for them this weekend. What are any other trends that you're seeing over the course of the opening few weeks? Because I think a lot of people have been quite shocked by some of the teams who have failed to win games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that Aston Villa haven't scored a goal as of yet, I'm not saying that's gone under the radar, but obviously there's been a lot of, well, especially in my world, talk of Wolves having 0 points, but 0 goals scored for Aston Villa to this point is a little bit of a worry. I mean, they're away at Everton this weekend. I thought it might take Everton a little while to really feel at home in the new stadium, but they've hit the ground running. Grealish has looked superb. I don't know whether he'll have any extra motivation or not playing against Aston Villa this weekend. Some people like those kind of storylines. But yeah, it's been, really, really bad start for Villa. I don't want to say no goals is worse than no points at this stage of the season, but that is really concerning. They're 29-20 to win this week, Everton. I thought they might have a few more picks, final one standing. After those big three teams, the next two most popular on the list were Fulham, who are odds on at home to Leeds. Obviously, Ellen Road's going to be a big factor for Leeds this year. I get why people want to be against them on the road. And Chelsea were the only other side with any kind of significant percentage next to their name away at Brentford. But after the big three, I thought Everton might interest a few this week.
They're my pick this week.
29-20 to win.
Sam, forget about Everton. Like our host here, Ger, is a massive Aston Villa fan, so we need to dwell on Villa's misery for a little bit. Like, they could become just the fifth team to draw 4 successive blanks at the start of the season. I mean, history is being written here by
relegation battle.
It's. I mean, how do you feel, Ger, as a Villa supporter? It's tough at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a pretty. I mean, here we are taking more Manchester United cast-offs, picking up Jadon Sancho's salary for the year. What are you doing, lads?
Victor Lindelof.
Lindelof, I don't mind. He's a squad player.
He's a decent player.
He's fine. But it has not been good, and the mood music's not good. At the same time, they could easily finish 15th this year and win the Europa League.
It's tried and true.
And
I highly recommend
17.
it.
You feel happy about life, right?
I'm delighted.
So I don't know. I think that their business off the field hasn't been as good as it needed to be. I think they've signed a load of duds over the last couple of years. Like, for every Morgan Rogers and John Duran, there's about 5 other players who come in, play 3 games, and then get loaned out to somebody else, and you never hear from them again, and they've lost a load of money on that. So
I love how you were Mr. Jadon Sancho as a bust for the whole thing. And,
he is a bust.
You turned out to be absolutely correct, and now he has joined your football club. It's like, I don't know what.
Karma.
There's irony in that. There's karma in that or something. Yeah.
We will say Harvey Elliott's pretty good.
Yeah.
Will we?
I mean, he's pretty good, but he's not fast, which seems to be what you guys are lacking up front. I don't know who he's going to be playing all these through balls to, but hopefully someone.
So where does he play? Like, what's his position?
He's at inside forward across from Morgan Rogers.
But where? So they're going to be in exactly the same position on the field.
That's the thing. I guess you got to figure that out, but you got to trust United to figure that out. But that's what happens when you miss on big signings, isn't it? You don't have that talent. You've just got to take what you can get, and especially when you've PSR problems.
So look, you can definitely see the headline being Jack Grealish refuses to celebrate, or Jack Grealish runs to celebrate in front of the Villa fans, and afterwards, oh sorry, it was old habits die hard,
like he did against Ireland.
I'd take an Adebayor moment where he runs the
length of the field.
complete length of the
He's
field.
the man to do that too, isn't he?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, good old Jack.
Yeah. All right, Sam. Anything else?
Just a reminder, actually, for anyone who is jumping in the reloaded jackpot this week, that has a 3 p.m. deadline. So the early game, Arsenal Forest, not involved with that, but all our existing jackpot leagues, including the 500k, the big one, they start at 12:30. So don't get caught out with getting your pick in. If you're already in a league, 12:30 is the deadline. If you're joining for the 200k jackpot this week, you get until 3 o'clock to play that one. Obviously, you can play both, but we'd hate for anyone to miss out and miss that deadline. So a couple of deadlines working this week. But fingers crossed that a lot of people who pick Newcastle get knocked out.
All right, make your pick on WilliamHill.com. Sam Norris, thanks a million for that. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
So have we done everybody's pick?
Sorry.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Liverpool for myself as well, yeah.
I'm on Everton, even though I'm out. I'm starting again. If I had the teams I've picked already, I have to go with Everton.
You don't have to.
No, I know if I was continuing after my
you're not.
previous track
Is it-
record. I know.
You can join a new league and pick whatever you
I've done
want.
that too. Oh, no, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I have to make that decision.
You can't pick Everton like that. I honestly don't.
I genuinely
All
think they're
joking
gonna win.
aside, I think that
it's a risky game.
about 3 players that Villa have were away on international duty. The rest of them will have been in getting whipped by Unai and his cat o' nine tails going. So I do not expect them to lose that game.
It's a difficult week, though. It's not like there's glaringly obvious ones. I'm not that confident in Newcastle. I know they're playing Wolves at home.
It is a tricky week. Liverpool are at Burnley, so
Yeah, I think the reason why, apart from you can't just base a pick on, Liverpool won the league last season and Burnley are newly promoted. You have to have, I was looking in, Liverpool had, I think, the best away record last season. I don't think Isak will start, but I presume he's going to come on at some point. And just that injection of newness after, it feels like the start of the season again, just after an international break and having won so soon. And yeah, no offense to Burnley. I don't think all 3 promoted teams will go down again, but if you're playing against the Premier League champions, you have to back the obvious horse.
Josh Cullen's going to have a tough day. He's had a couple of tough days recently, but yet another one.
He has better times at Burnley than he does
But if he's struggling up against that Armenian midfield, just have a look at the Liverpool midfield he's going to be up against, and you're thinking this can only go one way. Like, this could be Manchester United only scrape past this Burnley team at home, but this Liverpool team are so far ahead of this Burnley side that I don't know. I'm thinking a 3 or 4-0 sort of job here.
Eve mentioned it's kind of the season restarting again. This is the first time now we're going to properly see what Liverpool team is picked. Not even the Isak point, the midfield point, because Conor Bradley is back and healthy. I believe Frimpong's back as well. And like everyone now recognises the value of Szoboszlai, and it's largely because of that free kick. Yeah. But if you watched him last season, like everyone who watched Liverpool every week was like, he has to start no matter who comes in, because he sets the tone, and he has that pace and the relentless pressure. So, and Wirtz has been struggling, but went away with Germany, played really well, scored that free kick. Who's going to line up? They're a nightmare for fantasy football. I know we're not doing fantasy football here, but if you're trying to pick who you're going to put in your team, you don't even know who's going to start. Someone like Gakpo, who plays really well, scores all the time, you're kind of looking at him going, maybe you need to go on the bench, which would be wholly unfair because he has done nothing to deserve being on the bench.
He has the vibe to me always of like a super sub type player, like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type. He'll come on and will score.
Yet he never comes off the bench.
No, but
Divock Origi vibes.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Isak start. I'm not sure how likely it is, but obviously.
Pardon my ignorance. Did he play for Sweden?
15 minutes or so.
Right, okay.
He apparently did a few small bits, but didn't do anything spectacular or notable.
So off the bench, he didn't go off injured?
He was fine.
Okay.
But there's also no need for him to start him. Like, that's the main thing. Like, Ekitike has been brilliant, and he went away at France, I think, didn't play a whole lot, so he's not going to be exactly tired or anything or worn out. And I think one of the big things for him in that Newcastle game, I know it's come back a few weeks now, but you saw they were trying to get in his head and bully him, and he had just stood up to all of them. So I don't think Isak's going to come in and he's going to be all nervous and awkward or anything now over the next couple of weeks. I think it'll take it in stride, and they'll probably work together well if they play together at all.
But Haaland's 5 goals as well for Norway, 11-1 win against Moldova. I think Ireland would probably struggle against that Moldova
Did you see his poor teammate? His teammate who
scored a hat-trick. 4, yeah.
And his name is Asgard. It's like, what a great name
for Rangers, I think.
Footballer.
Yeah, the 4 goals just lost.
Yeah, no one even paid any attention to it.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, the Liverpool Burnley one, if anybody wants to
I think if I was going to look at someone else, I'd be looking at Spurs, but Eve was warning me off Spurs.
I really wouldn't. Well, Spurs haven't won away at West Ham since 2019. So it's been a really long time since we've got a proper result there. It's not surprising that we lost the game against Bournemouth because we just won against Man City, and that's the type of stuff that Spurs do.
It was depressing for me after picking Bournemouth.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Apparently Spurs haven't. If Spurs have bet City in the league, they haven't won their next league game since 2021, and we beat City a lot. It's just the kind of...
So hang on, every time they beat them, they lose their next game for the last few years.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a different era, slightly better squad, a better organised manager. Mm-hmm. They were kind of overrun in that game, which was a bit worrying, I presume, as a Spurs fan.
It was slightly... Listen, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't very worried because I had very low expectations of that Bournemouth game. But that's just perhaps a pessimistic nature. I think the signings that we made, like Xavi Simons and Moani, are exciting, attacking footballers, and combined with Frank, who I think is a very pragmatic manager. It's like almost the anti-Ange, but with a bit of it's still a kind of Ange excitement. So we're all Spurs fans are just waiting for the international break to be over to see, I don't know whether they'll start these new players. I don't see him benching like Brennan Johnson. You could play him on the left instead of the right or whatever he does, Frank, whatever he decides to do. But it will be an exciting fixture, but I don't know if we'll get a result out of it because it's all still very new and we do not win in the London Stadium.
West Ham obviously were on the verge of sacking Potter, and then they won a game and they won really well. So we'll see if that's the birth of something or the last sting of a dying wasp. But this is one of those ones, if Spurs are going to win enough games to qualify for the Champions League, they need to be getting something out of, right?
You'd think and you'd hope. It's whether... Listen, we finished 17th last season. It's where your expectations should be. I think playing in the Champions League already this season, you have an expectation that you're going to finish and qualify again. I do think we're perhaps more likely to win the Champions League than to finish 4th. If that's how you qualify. But yeah, these are the fixtures that you need to be winning.
Which, let's face it, is very unlikely.
Yeah, oh yeah, listen, yeah, incredibly.
It's a real testament to Spurs getting in the Champions League last year, though, that they were able to bring in Xavi Simons and Colin Moani. I know Colin Moani's only on loan, but these are like big name players.
Because when you think of that Europa League final, and I don't know how you feel about Manchester United's summer business.
I thought you were going to talk about the Europa League final and I was going to switch off there
Sorry.
mentally.
Because I'm
Like the
very
team
happy.
did, what?
Yeah.
Essentially. About the United's transfer business, look, they got rid of the Deadwood, which I think was the key thing. Apart from Malacia, I think that move fell through to Elche, but they got rid of all those lads. Jadon Sancho, thank you very much, off to Aston Villa. Rashford, Anthony, all off the books. Positives, yeah, but listen, Onana gone as well on loan to Trabzonspor, so that's an interesting move for him. Like he'll never play for Manchester United again, surely. Those days are gone. But
I couldn't believe Cameroon picked him.
I know, bizarre. But then I guess who's he up against? I'm not sure.
They got rewarded by him staying on his line.
Trapped
and
his
watching
line,
him.
And he's getting a pay increase, I think, to join Trabzonspor. Like the Spurs stuff, I don't know. The Matthias Tell, for example, signed, and there's no word of him in any European squad.
Yeah,
even,
he's not registered.
He's not been registered. He's going to be staying home for all our European fixtures.
I was surprised they brought him back because I didn't think he was great last year.
We've signed him permanently now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was just a loan. Now I've seen him play. I was over last season, and he scored a penalty in the game against Southampton, and then he subsequently missed a penalty in that Super League Cup against PSG. I think he's only 20, so he's still very young, and I think that was the Ange philosophy, to bring in lots of these young players, and I think Frank is combining with some.
I think that was a
ones.
Daniel Levy thing, and he's gone, and that's the other thing that's happened in the meantime. So
It's the first game in my lifetime
Well,
without
Simons is
Daniel
only
Levy.
22. And like I was going to say this, is Simons the biggest name signing that Spurs have made since Van der Vaart?
That's what people are saying.
Because like that's a Van der Vaart, when he signed, it was one of those eye-opening things of wow, I can't believe it. How did Spurs get him? And it was a similar thing with Simons. And I actually kind of maybe it's worked out better that they didn't get Eze, because Simons is like a perfect fit in that Maddison role of running in behind with the striker and linking up with the front man. I'd be really excited if I was a Spurs fan, especially with Thomas Frank, like what he's done. Now, your Spurs fans, don't get too excited, because that generally doesn't work out.
I feel
well
like
for you.
after the Europa League win, I need to rewire my brain, because I'm so used to making derogatory jokes about myself and being very pessimistic.
Sorry,
Enjoy
you
the trophy,
do know the most Spurs thing in the world that's going to happen, though. We're going into the final day. Spurs are fifth. They've got a chance to win, to go fourth, and they're going to not going to play them, but it's going to be Nottingham Forest against Spurs for that fourth pick, and Ange is going to get his revenge.
And we all get food poisoning, and that,
We've completely buried the lead here that Ange is back. And
Yeah.
now you're torn. You don't know what to, like. Well, how do you? This was your manager last year. No, look, what are you thinking? Oh, you weren't a Nottingham Forest fan beforehand either.
I'm not a Nottingham Forest fan now.
Well,
but
yes.
I don't listen. I have seen a lot of negativity, or at least pessimism, from Forest fans. Some of them and from pundits as well, who are saying that they have a very different style of play. You're going from one system completely to the other, and that is true. But Ange, when he inherited Spurs, obviously it was over the summer, but it was from a Conte team, a very defensive-minded, very negative football Conte team. And over the course of one summer, with not many signings, I mean, listen, admittedly, James Maddison signed that summer. We then went on this mad run at the beginning of the season, winning like our first 10 games, something crazy like that. Forest fans are in for a wild ride. It may be successful. I don't know what counts as his second or first season, considering he starts in September as opposed to August. But I don't think that their systems of play will be as contradictory as some are saying. I think he will.
Yeah, but look at the Europa League campaign last year, where they battened down the hatches and played very defensively and were totally capable of it. And
Exactly.
So obviously it's easy to paint somebody as a caricature. I think the fact that half of the press corps support Spurs means that the scrutiny is much higher than it will be at Forest, where there's probably 5 or 6 hacks who are at every press conference as opposed to 50.
13th of December, by the way, Forest Spurs. That's the first game at the City Ground where they come up against each other. Like I think it's a fascinating appointment, obviously, Ange to Forest. Marinakis and Postecoglou apparently met at some Greek awards ceremony.
Sharing gyros.
Exactly, they both have the Greek heritage, and obviously shook hands and got a couple of photos with each other that night. So it's an interesting move. Yeah, I'm kind of the same as you. Like Eva, I don't buy into the whole Ange won't be able to get this team working. You know,
and they have a really, really good squad, and they also signed a million players. So
Can I also just say, I love that we have Marinakis in the Premier League. We need more crazy owners. Like, America's full of them. Like, we have at the moment, I don't know, we talked about this in the NFL pod earlier this week at all. The Colts owner, she now has a wiretap essentially on the head coach of her team. So she hears everything he says to anyone else in the building. Get me more crazy like that. I know it's chaotic, but it's great. It's a great story.
Delia Smith, wasn't it? Norwich?
Yeah,
bring
Like
that.
Free
Avenue.
All right, is there anything? So Arsenal play Forest tomorrow. That's the early kickoff at 12:30. And then I think we've gone through all the rest of the games of significant interest. I'm sure there are some fans out there going, "You didn't mention us. I hate us." Did we miss anything?
Keith Andrews at home to Chelsea.
Oh, sorry.
8 p.m. on Saturday night as well, which is an interesting little fixture.
Yeah, one of the there's a couple of London derbies that same day.
Bournemouth Brighton is a 3:00 kickoff. That is relatively interesting. That's a
very good game.
South Coast derby. Areola is the hot new thing. Brighton managed to come back from a situation where it looked like it picked the totally wrong team, made the 5 subs against City and won that game. So we'll see if they can back that up. Crystal Palace, Sunderland is the other 3:00 kickoff. Everton Villa we've talked about.
On Palace, what do you think Mark Guehi's going to like shut down tools a little bit at all?
No.
He's not the type. He's not Isak.
I don't know. He was talking about he didn't want to have the captaincy armband anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's wait and see if he actually comes out with it on. But no, I don't think so because...
I think he should.
No, I don't think he should. I think he should play out the season and then go to whoever he wants and take all the money himself. I think he's played this perfectly. But if you down tools now, then some teams are like, "Oh, I'm not sure about that."
Yeah, fair.
There's no reason for him not to. Fulham Leeds is another 3:00 kickoff. Newcastle Wolves is 3:00. Who is going to be up front? Maybe they'll be forced to play the other striker.
Sula they had, that young fella who came on. He's not bad.
They were trying to get rid of him actually, and the deal fell through.
Maybe
West
he's gone.
Ham Spurs at 5:30. Brentford Chelsea, they're the Saturday kickoffs, and then our games on Sunday. Oh, I'm a day out on live scores. Sorry, we've games for you on Sunday. Burnley Liverpool is 2:00, and then it's obviously Manchester City against Manchester United. We didn't talk about that properly.
Both live and off the ball on News Talk on Sunday afternoon as well. Yeah, it's one of those weird games, the Manchester derby this weekend, where it's hard to know. Obviously, Rodri's back into that City midfield, and the United midfield is gaping in terms of Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes being there, and Casemiro clearly doesn't have the legs. The goalkeeping decision is going to be very interesting. I think he'll probably play Bindier. I know a lot of people think he'll throw Lemons straight in. Patrice Evra had an absolute mare debut against in a Manchester derby years ago, and Ferguson had to haul him off. And
Did David De Gea make his debut
he made it in a big game as well. I can't remember the first game, but he was shocking for the first while as well. Obviously there was patience because Ferguson was in charge, but Lamont isn't going to get that patience, so I would almost leave him off for the first game.
Your next game's against Chelsea.
Yeah, true.
So it's still a big fixture.
It's at home though, isn't it?
It is at home, yeah.
Well, that makes much difference for Manchester United, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like they've obviously been scouting this guy for ages.
Yeah,
There
last
are-
September.
There are videos going around of all his mistakes. I presume you've seen those as
Yeah.
well. Well, like, what goalkeeper doesn't have a bloopers reel? Like, do you not just stick him in and say, "This is our guy now"? We understand the other lad. You can't defend from corners and crosses, so we're not going to make him do it.
Yeah.
I'm actually more interested in if they start Chesko or not, because like he didn't go on international duty. Did he? I don't know if he did or not, but if he's been there for the last 2 weeks in training, getting ready, primed for this, like Ruben Diaz and John Stones have looked vulnerable. You put a big man up front, someone who'll actually run in behind, actually put some pressure on them. Like City are so beatable right now, even for United, who played against Burnley and looked like equal teams.
Yeah.
Like you have to go and have a go at them, surely. Like,
It's not a bad game for United to have, weirdly, away to City. No travelling to be done. The expectations are a bit lower than Burnley at home.
They're not Munster. They're not getting.
I know.
They're not.
But-
They're getting like private jets everywhere, right to the actual ground.
It's true.
Who is it more important, a win? Like City, obviously, they're at risk of going into another one of these random dips of form that have happened in the past couple seasons, whereas United really need something to kickstart their season.
I think it's more important for Amarin. Like, I feel like the leash is a bit shorter for him at the minute. He'll get the time. He'll probably get to Christmas anyway. But if he starts losing games, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, it'll be curtains fairly quickly. And then Mateus Cunha's injured this weekend as well. It seems he obviously got injured before the international break. So
It is one of those rare things where the derby happens so early in the season, and it's actually vital to both sides. Like, can City win the league if they drop another 3 points here and say we all assume Liverpool are going to win? Can City come back from that?
yeah,
I mean, obviously they can, but with the stink that's on them from last year and the fact that they've got an entirely new team, I don't know.
I watched back the highlights last night. It was 20th September 2009. It was so early in the season again. The 4-3 at Old Trafford when Michael Owen scores the winner with the last kick, and Darren Fletcher scores a couple of headers. Bellamy roasts Rio Ferdinand for one of the City goals, and an unbelievable strike for another one. Ben Foster has a mare in goals for City and Shea Given for United, and Shea Given in goals for City was incredible that day. Even though we conceded 4 goals, it was just a mad game.
You know, you mentioned Cunha being out, but actually, injury list, you guys are in a much better position than City. City are missing Marmoush is out with an ACL. Nico O'Reilly, obviously, probably wouldn't be playing. Gvardiol, Rico Lewis is out. Cherky is out. Savino, Phil Foden, Kusanov. John Stones is apparently out. Kovacic, and then Calvin Phillips, doesn't really matter. But, you're relatively healthy compared to them, and they're already a team that doesn't have a whole lot of athleticism, and not many players not many players, but they've a bunch of new players coming in who haven't got experience in these types of games.
Yeah.
Maybe if you just come with the right intensity, it'll overrun them a little bit.
United finished, 15th in the league last season, but won at the Etihad 2-1. This was the game where they were 1-0 down, 88th minute Bruno scores, and then Ahmad scores the really good goal to win it at the end. So they have these weird results where they can beat
It does feel like you always beat City, even when you're having a terrible season.
Yeah, true.
Spurs, they're such kindred spirits, Spurs and United, these past couple of years.
That's a downfall for you guys.
Nil all written all over it. Tune in 4:30 on Sunday afternoon to Off the Ball on News Talk. That's this week's episode of The Final One Standing and Off the Ball, brought to you by William Hill. Download the app and play today. 18+, see gamblingcare.ie.
The Final One Standing by William Hill on Off the Ball. Download the app and play today. 18+, gamblingcare.ie.